Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRFBets race of the day for Thursday, August the 1st, race number 9 at Saratoga. We are going 14 furlongs for the $100,000 Birdstone Stakes. You can bet this card with your DRFBets account. Sign up, use the promo code HELLO, and start playing with DRFBets. Here's the field for the Birdstone. You can access free formulator past performances on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Download them, handicap along with us. We'll take this field in post-position order, beginning with the number 1 Marconi, the little half-brother to Mucho Macho Man, $2 million yearling. He's found his niche in these longer distance races. He rode that gold rail in the Brooklyn 2 starts back going gate to wire, but he also handled the horse he has to likely beat again, Rocketry 3 back in the flat out coming from off the pace. The Suburban last time out, listen, these 9 and 10 furlong horses, they're better than the 11 through 14 furlong horses. They tried to drop Marconi in distance. Yeah. He was just in too tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I think both he and Rocketry last time, they couldn't go with those horses. They fit way better in this race. Yes, Marconi took advantage to win the Brooklyn. He rode a strong rail. I think it helped him win that race. But that's really his advantage in here. It's just that he has way more tactical speed than Rocketry does. It gives him a little bit of an edge. They have now raced against each other 4 times in a row. Marconi's finished ahead of Rocketry all 4 times. I just feel like this is maybe in some ways his race to lose. I know Rocketry, if you just want to take it at face value, he might be the better horse. But I think this is Marconi's race to lose.
Royal Albert Hall is the number 2, and he has finished 2nd and 3rd 20 times out of 44 starts. He's only won 3 races. But Royal Albert Hall is a pretty cool horse in his own right because he was 2nd in the Del Mar Derby in 2015, and he actually won a little stakes race at Aqueduct earlier this year for Robitrasse. Last time out in an optional claimer at Saratoga, though, this horse didn't pick his feet up. He was last all the way around the track, and he's in this race because they think he likes the distance.
Yeah, right. Distance can be the great equalizer, and he does like distance, but he's pretty tough to take in this race at 3 for 44. His lone win here in that Bernardini, a race that just fell apart at the end, and he got up with an 82 buyer. It's not going to get it done against this field.
Patch was 3rd in the Belmont Stakes in 2017 behind Taprit. We look at his last 3 races, though. The Jockey Club Gold Cup of 2018, he finished last. An optional claimer at Churchill Downs, he finished 8th of 10. And then off the layoff on turf, a distance he didn't need to like, he finished 8th out of 10. So he's really not in very good form. But he is getting back to the surface. He enjoys dirt. My main issue is because he's such a popular horse. Everyone knows Patch's story. He's the lovable one-eyed horse that competed in the Triple Crown series, that he's going to take some money. Maybe 14 furlongs is what he wants. I still think he needs to prove he can still run.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I do think distance could be okay for him. I mean, you go back to him as a 3, his 5th career start, he finished 3rd in the Belmont, and he only got 3rd that day because he stayed and some other horses didn't. So I think the distance will be okay for him. I mean, I guess I'll just look at his most recent start and say Sisterston was just giving him a race. It was a prep off the layup because I don't see why you would think this is a turf horse. He's clearly not. He's back to dirt. He's stretching out. I can see him running better in here, Dan, but he better run a lot better.
I wouldn't sleep on Curlin Road, the 4, second off the Rudy Claim. And I wonder if Rudy claimed this horse with this race in mind, because this horse a couple of years ago was able to win the Cougar, the 2nd handicap. He beat a decent marathoner and hard aces that day. Distance is what he wants. They ran him in all the wrong races after that until he went off form. And maybe that last race, I thought it was a step in the right direction for Rudy off the Claim. He showed a little bit of life. I think he steps forward. He's not exactly a win machine, but he has a race or 2 in his past that makes him interesting.
I agree with all that stuff, and I think stretching out could really help this horse. I like that Rudy took him over. You know, Rudy first off the Claim, that's when you really want them, especially in dirt routes. So the fact that he didn't beat that field last time bothers me a little bit. I would have suspected if he was really back in form, he would have run down Felix and Fabula, and he couldn't do it. But we'll see what happens here. I think Rudy can get this horse to take another step forward, Dan. If he gets him back to his good race, he's a contender in here.
Curlin Road is a sleeper. I think Third Day is a sleeper as well. I think this is the kind of distance he needs. Going back to that Mineshaft handicap, a race when they started quickening, entering the far turn, and Third Day couldn't stay with him. And Jose is just riding him hard. And by the time he altered course into a little traffic, he started to run late, but it was too late. He galloped out really well. They ran him in the Benelli. Didn't run great that day. I don't think he needed synthetic last time out. I think he likes the distance. I'm not sure he's this good right now, but the distance might be the great equalizer. I'm going to use him somewhere.
Yeah, that's the real question, right? I mean, will he handle this much distance? I think there's a chance that he might. Like you, I think there's a chance he might. And I think he's a pretty good horse, too. Outside of the two favorites, he might be the best alternative.
Has King Zachary just simply gone sour? He won the Matt Win last year as a 3-year-old. He was 4th in the Travers. A lot of people forget that. After the Pennsylvania Derby, he was laid up for a long time. There is a way to look at him and say he has excuses for all 3 races. One was the layoff. He came off of it going a 1-turn mile. Then he ran on the Stephen Foster where he was just overmatched. And then they ran him on turf last time out. King Zachary is the kind of horse that his 3-year-old form makes him interesting. I'm not sure if his 4-year-old form is truly representative of what he is. So at the end of the day, I'm looking at the distance, and while he's bred for it, he has to prove it to me.
Yeah, the distance. I mean, I don't know if he wants to go this far. He was an okay 3-year-old. I thought his Travers was sort of an okay performance. Trying to come from last in that race was not going to happen. I thought he did well to get 4th in there. I don't really like any of his races since I started back this year. And I do sort of wonder, I mean, they ran him on turf last week up here, and now they're coming right back in this race. Was that the plan? I don't know. I could go either way on this horse. He's going to be a very big price in this race.
Talk about quick turnarounds. If Turco Bravo does run in this race, it would be off of a 3-day layoff. He ran on Saturday. He did not run very well for a $40,000 tag. He's 10 years old. To say he's getting a little bit long in the tooth is probably an understatement, but he has done some good work this year. That last race was the worst by far. He's still capable of hitting the board. We know he likes distance. One, I'm wondering if they're really going to run him here. And 2, if they do, they found a tough spot.
Yeah, I can't imagine they're going to wheel him back to run against these horses. He does like distance. He did not run well here on Sunday.
Let's take a look at our top selections for this year's Birdstone. I think Rocketry is going to turn the tables on Marconi, Mike. I thought in the Brooklyn he was up against it. He didn't break very well. He was 3 wide at the back of the pack going into the first turn. That was a day where the rail was good. Rosario did everything he could to save as much ground as possible. He really kept him in the 2-path all the way to the top of the stretch, but then he had to angle 5 wide into the lane. He was coming at Marconi late, and it just didn't work out. I'm not worried about the Suburban. Those horses are too tough. He gets one more chance for me, although you like Marconi, and right now Marconi has number time after time after time.
Yeah, well, it's all about running style. I mean, Marconi just has to jump on him every single time. And Marconi, he's one of those who really wants to go long as well. Maybe this distance will play more into Rocketry's favor. We'll see what happens. Listen, I could have gone either way with my top pick. I'm going to take Marconi because I had a sneaking suspicion that Rocketry was going to be the favorite in here, but we'll see what happens. I went 1-8. I don't really want anybody else.
And I'm going 8-1 in the $100,000 Birdstone. Maybe I could try to sneak the number 4, Curlin Road, underneath into the exotics. Thursday's DRFBets race of the day, the 14-furlong Birdstone Stakes. Bet it with your DRFBets account by using the promo code HELLO. Approximate post time for the Birdstone, 5:51 Eastern. Best of luck.